Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome back to Find XYZ. If you are new to this channel, you know what to do. Subscribe. We are still in the process of getting ourselves ready for WASSCE 2026. So let's try this question. The estimated cost of building a restaurant was $64,000. It was made up of the cost of labor, materials, and the contractor's charges in a ratio 12:15:5 respectively. At the start of the construction, the cost of labor increased by 8%, materials increased by 2% due to inflation, but the contractor's charges remained the same. After the increase, the cost of labor was 2/3 the cost of material. We have been tasked to determine the value of A and also find the new cost of building the restaurant. Let's dive in. So we have the question structured in two parts. The first part, you have been given an estimated cost which is $64,000. This cost consists of three things: labor, materials, and then the charges by the contractor. It was put in a ratio of 12:15:5 respectively. Respectively means that the order in which this list was mentioned matters, right? So labor was mentioned first, so it means that labor picks 12, then material 15, then the charges by the contractor is 5. Everything put together was estimated to be $64,000. However, something happened. When they were about to start the construction, things went up. There was an inflation. Inflation is basically rising the price of goods and services, right? So it means that whatever amount that was first estimated, it will go up. But how did it go up? Labor went up by 8%. Material also went up by 2%. However, the contractor decided to charge the same amount, so contractor's charges is fixed. Then after the inflation, we are saying that the cost of labor is, once you see ace, you bring equal sign, becomes 2/3, that is 2 out of 3 of the cost of material. So labor becomes 2/3 of the cost of material. So when you take 2/3 of material, you get labor. So let's start putting things together. First, we need to know the cost of labor before the inflation, the cost of material before the inflation, and the cost of charges before the inflation. So we need to know the total ratio, which is 12 plus 15 plus 5, which will give us 32. So labor cost, since labor is 12, we'll do 12 out of the total. And what is the total amount for the restaurant, which is $64,000. Then when you simplify this, labor cost will be $24,000. Then material, which is the ratio is 15, so 15 out of the total, which is 32, times the total amount, which is $64,000, and this will give us $30,000. Then lastly, the charges will be 5, because charges is 5 out of the total ratio, which is 32, times 64,000, and this will also give us $10,000. So now we know the cost of all these three things before the inflation. However, charges fixed, it is not changing, but this is changing, this is changing. And how is it changing? Labor is going to increase by 8%, we don't know that A, and material is going to increase by 2%. So we need to find that. So 8% for labor, that is after the inflation. 8% for what? Labor, and 2% for material. 8% means that A out of 100. Now what is the cost of labor, which is 24,000? When we simplify this, we are going to get 240A. This is for the labor. Then material, which is 2% means out of 100, times material, which is $30,000. Then after simplifying, we have 2A times 300, that will give us 600A. This is for the material. Now after the inflation, we are saying that labor is equal to 2/3 of the material. That is after the inflation, right? The labor cost becomes 2/3 of the material. It means that 240A will be added to the initial amount, which is 24,000, because it has increased by this percent. And 30,000 will also be added by 600A, because if something increases, it means that original thing is there and another thing has been added to it. So for labor, already we have 24,000, and since it increased, we are going to add the 248 to it, and then we'll bring our 2/3, and the material, which is already $30,000, we are going to add the new increased amount, which is 600A. Then we can decide to simplify by multiplying both sides by 3. So we are going to have 3 multiplying 24,000 plus 240A, then 2 multiplying 30,000 plus 600A. You realize that when we multiply both sides by 3, the 3 divides 3, so we are left with 2. This is why we have 2 here. Then we expand, so we'll do 3 multiplying 24,000, that will give us 72,000, plus 240 multiplying 3, that will give us 720A. then 3 multiplying 30,000, that will give us 60,000. Then 6 multiplying 2, that will give us 12. We'll add the zeros. Then we can decide to group like terms, right? So we have A on this side, A also on this side. We can put them together. We have constant, which is 60,000. We have another 72,000. So let's group them. So I can decide to subtract 720A from both sides. So 720A minus 720A. Now we are off. And we can also decide to subtract 60,000 from both sides. So this will give us 0. This will also give us 0. So we are left with 1200A minus 720A. So 1200A minus 720A, that will give us 480A. And then 72,000 minus 60,000, that will give us 12,000. Then quickly, let's divide both sides by 480. So our A, which we are looking for, will give us 25. So we have been able to find the value of A for the first part. Now the second part, we're tasked to find the new cost of building the restaurant. Now what's something? The increased amount for labor is 240A, and the increased amount of material is 600A. But now we know the value of A, right? So A is 25, so we are going to do 240 multiplying 25, and that will give us 6,000. 600 multiplying A, so that will give us 600. Now the value of A is 25, so 600 times 25, that will give us 15,000. So it means that the new amount that was added to labor will be $600, and the new amount that will be added to the cost of material will be $15,000. Labor, which was previously 24,000, we are going to add $6,000 to it. And material, which was previously 30,000, we are going to add 15,000 to it. So 24,000 plus 6,000, that will give us $30,000. And then $30,000 plus $15,000, that will give us $45,000. However, the charges for the contractor remain the same, which was $10,000. So the new cost will now be $30,000 for the new cost for labor and $45,000. And the charges for the contractor, which remain the same, that is $10,000. So in all, the new cost for building the restaurant will be $85,000. So let's see something. You realize that we said the new cost of labor is 2/3 the cost of material. So if we take 2/3 of the cost of material, what is the cost of material? 45,000. What's something? So 2/3 of 3 divides 45, that will give us 15. So we have 15,000 multiplied by 2, that will give us 30,000. Now what is 30,000? The cost of labor. So you realize that the cost of labor is 2/3 the cost of material, right? Easy peasy. So that is the end of this tutorial section. If you enjoyed this, kindly leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to all your friends. I'll be back with another solution, another tutorial. I'm out.